All right, Mitchell, it's time for a deep dive with you. We got a little bit of insight into your career journey and history before, but I want to dig a little deeper now. Something we touched on earlier is you said you've been in Bitcoin for about 4 or 5 years now. Everybody's got that moment, their orange pill moment. Tell us, what was that like for you? Did you hear about it from a friend or something that told you to get involved? And how long did it take you to really wrap your head around what Bitcoin is after you heard about it? It takes a lot of us some time, so gotta ask.
Yeah, so it took about 6 months. So I actually bought Bitcoin in August of 2020. And the reason I bought it is because I wanted to bet on the 2020 presidential election. And this was before gambling was like mass legalized across the United States. And so I had to buy this fancy, internet money to go do that. And well, I got smoked. I bet on Trump. He lost. And so my trust in institutions was at an all-time low. If you think back to 2020, obviously we were all locked into our homes. There was a lot of censorship online. I didn't believe the results of the election. So institutional trust, all-time low. Plus, I noticed that they printed a crap ton of money. And I had been studying economics in college, but it was very loose and I hadn't really dove too deep. But when I saw that, I was like, this can't be right. And so from there, I started going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, learning about the history of money, past instances of hyperinflation. And so that all culminated, after kind of November, December of 2020, it culminated in me being fully orange pilled. I realized Bitcoin has a finite supply. There's no inflation with this asset. It's, never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. And at the same time, the institutions, which I had zero trust in, still don't really, they can't mess with it. Bitcoin's totally immune outside of their control. And so from that moment on, I've been full steam ahead trying to orange pill as many people as I can and stack as much Bitcoin as I can.
Oh yeah, good advice all around. I love it. And you're only 25, Mitchell. You're a young, strapping man. You're already the head of intelligence at Blockware. Do you see that as a lucky break? Was that perfect timing, or is it just further proof that good things happen when you go all in on Bitcoin? What was that journey like for you?
I believe it was the late great rapper Nipsey Hussle that said, luck is where opportunity meets preparation. And so that's kind of what happened with me. It's, a little bit of luck. It was serendipitous that I was able to get this job at Blockware nearly 4 years ago. But I was also prepared, right? I had done plenty of research on Bitcoin. I had been creating Bitcoin content, even though at the time nobody was listening. I was just shouting to, my 50 followers on X at the time. But it demonstrated a proof of work. And so I was able to get a foot in the door when I was still in college. And then from there, it was, proof of work, continuing to provide value to not just my company, but to everyone in the Bitcoin community, I hope. And then it's been quite a journey over the last couple of years. I've learned a ton, been able to work with a ton of amazing Bitcoiners, very, very smart people, and really dive deep into the mining space specifically, which I feel is, I describe it as a niche within a niche. So Bitcoin is already a very unique topic. There's not many people that really can go deep on Bitcoin, and even fewer of them can go really deep on mining. And so I think there's a lot of fascinating things going on behind the scenes in the world of Bitcoin mining that not many people, even Bitcoin native, may know about.
Yeah, and it certainly sounds like you got a lot of hustle yourself, so I'm sure Nipsey Hussle would be very appreciative of that. And to talk about Bitcoin mining, for people who only know Blockware from the headlines, tell us, how do you describe what the company does in plain English that even my Mima could understand?
We make Bitcoin mining accessible to everyone. So in order to mine Bitcoin, you need a server. You need a physical computer that weighs about 50 pounds and consumes as much electricity as a refrigerator. And these things are loud, they're hot, they're dusty, they consume a lot of energy. And so it's pretty much impractical to run a miner at your own house. You need a dedicated space, a dedicated data center, somewhere rural with access to low cost electricity. And not everyone has the resources or the time or the know-how to do that. And so we allow investors to get access to the opportunity that is Bitcoin mining, but without doing any of the setup or work themselves. So we have data centers that we own and operate, as well as data centers that we've partnered with some of the best operators in the space. And we have access to low cost electricity rates so you can mine Bitcoin profitably. And Bitcoin miners get a lot of tangible benefits. They produce Bitcoin every day at a discount. So it's a discounted DCA strategy. Rather than buying Bitcoin for $115,000 right now, you can run a miner and it's stacking Bitcoin for you every day at 60K per coin, roughly, depending on the machine you're using. So you get that, but you also get enormous tax benefits. So new guidelines from the Big Beautiful Bill allow for 100% depreciation of mining hardware in a single tax year. So if you're a W-2 earner or a business owner, and you're looking to offset ordinary income and lower your tax bill legally, you can purchase Bitcoin miners and do that. So if you have $200,000 of income this year, you can buy $200,000 of miners and lower your tax bill to zero legally. So it's kind of starving the government in two ways, right? You're lowering your tax bill, decreasing the amount of fiat that you give back to the government, and you're supporting the Bitcoin network and accumulating BTC for yourself, which is the alternative monetary network. So it's a double faceted approach there, and I couldn't think of a better industry to be working in right now.